Well, past and present collide now in our Saturday play. When new evidence provides the opportunity for DNA testing, a murder case from 20 years ago is reinvestigated. In The Test, by Peter Whalley.
Now then.
Just what do you think you're playing at?
You tell me.
Coming into my house like that. Just marching in, uninvited.
Is that what I did?
And then, when my wife tells you to go, no, you refuse.
That's what she's told you, is it?
She has, yeah. Anyway, I saw you leaving. I was driving up here. You didn't see me, but I saw you coming out.
You might have done. Did she tell you, your wife?
Now...
No, you listen to me now. Did she tell you how she'd invited me in?
You go anywhere near my wife, or come into our house again, and I'll be informing the police.
Listen, pal. I've been giving you the benefit on the grounds that a man whose wife's lying to him.
She's
that
not.
Man, I feel sorry for.
Oh, well, don't. Not for me.
So leave it, eh? She's the one you ought to be talking to.
I'm talking to you.
I know, and I'm getting sick of it.
And I'm getting sick of you.
Bog off, eh? And tell your wife I'll be round tomorrow like we agreed.
You...
Hey, what? What?
Just leave.
Are you right, you?
Wine?
Well, I've a sort of an afternoon in court, so...
Yes, please. It's good to see you again, it really is.
How's Sue?
Oh, she's fine, yeah.
Still at the university?
Head of department.
Clever woman, isn't she? Very, very clever.
Well, married me.
Doesn't mean she can't make a mistake.
And how are things with you?
Oh, you know, paying maintenance, going to the gym so I can live longer and pay more maintenance.
It's great to see you again, David, but if I'm honest...
You're after some free advice?
Suppose I am, yes.
Hey, you're not getting divorced, are you? You and Sue aren't.
No. I'm glad to say.
And I'm glad to hear it. So go on, what?
Well, Saturday afternoon, last Saturday,
Yeah?
I received a visit from the police.
I see.
Sue had gone shopping, so I was in by myself. Thank God.
She doesn't know?
No. Doorbell goes, and it's a detective. Plain clothes. I've got his card somewhere. Oh, yeah. Detective Constable Musker.
Don't know, no.
He asked me if I'm Mr. John Newland. I say yes, I am, and does he want to come in? He says yes, he does.
Sorry to bother you, sir.
That's all right. Sit down.
Thanks.
Would you like a coffee or a...
No, I'm okay, thank you.
So, what,
September 18th, 1988.
Yes?
You were then living with your wife, Susan Newlands, in Wakefield, West Yorkshire.
I was, yes.
And you had a neighbour, Mr. Sean Sutton, who on that morning, September 18th, his body was discovered inside his house. Turned out he'd been murdered.
Yes.
You remember the case?
Hardly likely to forget it.
You were involved in the subsequent inquiry.
If that's a polite way of saying they thought I'd done it. I was, yes.
Though I gather in the end, no one was ever charged.
No.
And it was after that you moved over here to Manchester.
Following here, yes.
Was that why you moved? Because of what had happened?
I suppose it was a factor.
You wanted to put it behind you.
I suppose we did.
Well, Mr. Newlands, what's happened? The case has, I shouldn't say been reopened because it's never been officially closed, but let's say there's been a new development.
What?
Well, it seems somebody, whoever has the house now, they were building some kind of extension, started knocking things down and discovered what it's thought might well be the murder weapon. A knife.
It was assumed to be a knife, yes.
But never found.
No.
Well, now it has been. And so West Yorkshire Police have asked for your cooperation. What they mean by that is, they'd like you to provide a sample for DNA testing. You understand what I mean when I talk about DNA testing?
I think I do, yes.
We just take a little swab from inside your cheek. Doesn't take a moment, and it's absolutely painless.
And then what?
Well, I imagine everyone who was involved in the initial investigation will be asked to do the same then. See if any samples match DNA found on the murder weapon. Like I say, it's not my case, really. I'm just the go-between. But we can count on your cooperation, can we?
This case came close to ruining my life. I was questioned, not just once, but over and over. And my wife was questioned, and my house was searched, and my neighbours, they all knew this. It's all anybody talked about. Friends, colleagues, they knew I was a suspect. Everybody knew. It's why we moved, to get away.
I do appreciate...
And now you're saying it's all going to start again, and will I cooperate? Well, I don't think I will, no.
I can understand this has come as a shock.
It was 20 years ago, for God's sake.
It remains an unsolved crime.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's your problem. Not mine.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Newland. You have a think about it. I'm sure you'll see it's in your best interests to cooperate. You must want this cleared up as much as we do. Then perhaps you could get in touch with me on this number.
So, my question is, do I have to?
Give a sample?
Yes.
No, you don't have to.
Wonderful. That's what I'd hoped you'd say.
They're asking, will you cooperate? You're telling them, sorry, but no, you'd rather not, which it's within your rights to do.
What a thought.
And why should you cooperate? You cooperated last time, gave them all the help you could, and they still couldn't get a result.
Exactly. And you know, this man who was killed, this Sutton character, he was a nasty piece of work. And what I mean, there are some murders you want to see solved because they're of a child or...
Sure.
But this man, who cares?
And you really were a suspect?
Top of the list.
Because you were his neighbour?
Well, and we'd had words. In fact, we'd had a bit of a ding-dong the night before they found his body.
Ah.
You won't mention any of this to Sue, will you? I know you haven't seen her for ages, but if you just happen to, or speak to her on the phone, I don't want her worrying.
Of course you don't. Not a word, no.
See, I'd gone round to talk to this guy. Well, for her sake, he'd been coming on to her. So everything that happens afterwards, me being suspected, I think she felt...
responsible.
Which, of course, she wasn't, but...
It's what she felt, sure.
I asked the detective if he wants to contact me again. Do it at the office, then she's not going to know. Only me.
Hi.
Good day.
Had worse. What did you have for lunch?
Don't remember. Oh, yes, I do. Risotto.
Well, that's all right. I'm doing fish.
Had lunch with David Fitzpatrick.
What, solicitor?
Yes.
Still thinks he's the bee's knees, does he?
Bee's knees? What's that supposed to mean?
Sorry, I just can't stand the way he seems to think every woman must fancy him, which couldn't be further from the truth.
You know what I should do?
What?
Just as an experiment, I should try talking about your friends the way you talk about mine.
Don't let me stop you.
No, but I can just imagine the reaction.
Saves me having to produce one then. By the way, I'm out tonight. Philosophical Society.
Uh-huh.
Guest speaker we have to feed and flatter.
And what's he speaking about?
Oh, do you know, I haven't the faintest. So, how is your friend David?
All right, yes. Oh, sends his love.
I'll tell you one thing, and this I put money on.
What?
Most of this lunch you had was spent talking about him. You'll be lucky to get a word in. It'll all be about him, yes?
No. Actually, it wasn't like that at all.
Hello?
It's me.
Hi, this is Detective Constable Luke Musker. Leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
This is John Newland. You came to see me about the Sean Sutton case. Asked if I'd give a DNA sample. Well, I've thought about it, and I'm sorry, but I want nothing more to do with this. So I will not, repeat, not be cooperating and giving a sample. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm late again.
No, you're not. Anyway, who cares? Huh? Where are you supposed to be?
Philosophical Society meeting.
Oh, now that sounds really interesting. I'm sure you wouldn't rather be there than here.
Dead sure, yes.
How are you?
Oh,
No, don't answer. Let's go to bed.
Hello?
John, it's David.
Oh, hi.
Thanks again for lunch. I enjoyed it.
Me too.
Only I've had a thought. This case you're involved in, the murder,
Yes.
did the police ever at any point actually arrest you?
Arrest me? Yes. Yes, they did, yes.
Great.
Is it?
Means they can't do it again. See, arresting you would be one way of getting this DNA sample they want, because that would give them a legal right. But if they arrested you before...
Definitely. I remember what a shock it was. That it was happening to me.
Well, then they can't do it again, not on the same grounds, which I think is all they'd have in this case.
So I'm okay?
I'd say so, but let me know what happens, won't you? Ring my mobile, but if that's switched off, just ring the office and tell them who you are.
You awake?
yes.
Because I've something to tell you.
What?
You know I mentioned we'd opened a new office in Southampton? Well, yes, I did.
Was I listening?
Evidently not.
Sorry.
Well, the point is, it's been a disaster. A catastrophe of unimaginable proportions.
This is advertising we're talking about.
Well, all right, but results have been poor. Anyway, and this is the bit that matters. Are you listening now?
Yes.
No. Well, they want me to go down there and run it. Rally the troops, save the day.
What? Would this be permanent?
Yes. Come with me.
Oh.
Come with me. Leave your husband, who you don't love anyway, so God knows what you're doing with him in the first place, and come with me. Where are you going?
Bathroom.
So I take that as a no?
Martin, I can't. And you know I can't.
Well, I know you say that. For the life of me, I don't understand why. And anyway, before, up to today, we had the alternative. We could meet. All right, it wasn't ideal. At least not from my point of view.
Mine.
But it's been livable with. But this changes everything. Southampton. Changes everything.
Well, we could still...
Meet?
Yes.
How? Where?
Well...
Yeah, it's hard enough with us both living in Manchester. Southampton is bloody hundreds of miles away. So no, sorry, but we can't still. I'm going to Southampton, and I'd like you to leave your husband and come with me.
I've obviously got things wrong. Sorry to have troubled you.
Not a problem.
Bye.
Bye.
Or to put it another way, I've got things absolutely bloody well right.
I'll walk you to your car.
You don't have to.
No, but I will.
Car keys.
I've stolen them, so you can't leave.
Then why are they in my pocket?
See, if you'd say you don't want to come with me, all you want is an affair, well...
You're confusing what's possible in an ideal world with what's possible in reality.
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
In an ideal world, we'd skip off to Southampton. In reality, I am married.
So was I, and I got divorced. It's really not as painful as some people would have you believe.
It's not that.
So what is it?
I can't leave him, just can't. I've told you that from the start. Please accept it.
How many lives are you expecting to live? 3, 10?
I think 10 would be a depressing thought.
1 is all you're going to get.
It's all I'm expecting.
And you want it to be happy or...
Martin, don't, please.
Just tell me why.
Because even though my marriage isn't perfect...
It's a sham, you hate the man.
It's still a relationship I've worked at for over 20 years, and I just can't walk away from it. I can't. I'm sorry.
So...
When are you going?
To Southampton? Not sure. Soon.
And you can't say no?
I suppose I could.
But you don't want to.
I don't want to because I thought, well, now she'll have to make a choice. And there you have. And it's the wrong one.
Sorry.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go on at you. I won't go. I'll tell them I'm not going.
Oh.
Well, hello.
I didn't think you'd still be up.
Oh, yes. So, how was the Philosophical Society?
Much as usual.
You found out what the topic was?
Oh, a sort of overview of European trends.
No, sorry. I do apologise.
Why?
Shouldn't make you lie, should I? For one thing, you're not very good at it. Because there wasn't a Philosophical Society meeting, was there? I checked.
Did you?
Yes. There wasn't, was there?
No.
No.
I don't know why I said it, and I'm sorry. And now I'm going to bed.
Been to see Martin, have you? Martin? Got the name right, have I?
Why are you doing this? What is it you want?
What is it I want? Well, for one thing, I want you to know I'm not entirely stupid.
I know you're not.
Treat me as though I am.
I'm sorry.
Martin Joyce is called, yes?
Do you really want to know?
No. No. I don't want to know about any of it.
I'm back, aren't I? I'm here.
Yes.
So unless there's anything else, I'm going to bed. Good night.
Night.
I'm going to have to go to work, but what you said last night...
I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry I lied like that.
It was to spare my feelings, I know, and I'd no right to...
I don't want you worrying.
No, I don't.
I came back.
And that's what matters.
Well...
It is. It is.
Martin's a friend, and... Well, that's it. He's a friend.
Good. Fine.
OK, well, I have to get going. See you tonight.
Have a good day.
Hello?
Martin Joyce?
Yes?
My name's John Newland. I believe you know my wife, Sue. I said I believe
I do, yes.
Do you think I could come in?
Just push on the door.
I'm not going to ask you what's going on because, well, it's pretty obvious. I'm just going to tell you, it's got to stop.
Have you talked to your wife about this?
What? It's her fault, is it? She invited you in?
Invited me?
She doesn't want you hanging around her, all right? She doesn't want to hear from you again.
Did she say that?
I'm saying it! I'm her husband, and I'm saying it! Yes?
John, there's a Detective Constable Musker here wanting to see you.
Yes, send him through, would you, Tanya? Thank you for coming here and not to my home.
Mr. Newlands, why are you doing this? Why are you refusing to give us a sample for DNA testing?
Because the whole case is something I've put behind me, and I don't want to go back to.
Well, look at it this way. It's a wonderful opportunity, the best you're ever going to get to clear your name.
Of what? My name's clear enough.
A serious crime was committed. A man was killed.
I know.
Then you should realise we aren't just going to let this drop.
I've given my answer, and that's it. Sorry.
I could arrest you. It's all I have to do. Arrest you, then we take a sample as part of procedure. Don't want that, do you?
You can't. Ask your colleagues in West Yorkshire. I was arrested 20 years ago. You can't arrest me twice on the same grounds.
OK. We'll leave it for now. Oh, what time do you finish work?
Finish? Oh, about 5:30. Why?
Nothing. Goodbye, Mr. Newlands.
The person you are calling is unable to take your call. Please leave your message after the tone.
Oh, come on, answer. You can't be that busy. Oh, well, maybe you can. Anyway, give me a ring when you're not. I do love you, even though I said I wouldn't go to Southampton. Bye.
Oh, what the...
Evening.
You?
Could you step out of the car, please, sir?
Why? What's this about?
Step out of the car, please.
Well, I will... Yes, but I don't see...
Thank you, sir.
What's going on?
Mr. Newland, we've been following your car since you left your business premises. After witnessing your journey, I am now arresting you for dangerous driving.
Oh, come on!
You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence.
This is... It's a con!
Get in the police car, please.
This is all because I refuse...
Get in the police car, sir.
I want to ring my lawyer.
Which you can do at the station. Now get in the police car, please.
This is just an excuse, and you know it.
Sergeant, this is John Newlands. Do you have a middle name?
I want to make a formal protest.
Middle name?
Philip. I've been arrested and brought here under false pretences.
John Philip Newlands. I arrested him after observing his erratic and careless driving when leaving the centre of Manchester and joining the A34.
That's not why he's arrested me.
Tell the sergeant your address, please.
I've been brought here under false pretences.
Address?
No.
Prisoner refused to give address.
You said I could ring my lawyer.
And you can after we've completed the formalities, which we can't do if you won't give us your address.
38 Chestnut Street, Didsbury.
Postcode.
M24KX. So, can I ring him now?
Take off your belt and your shoelaces and empty your pockets. Oh. Look at the camera. Turn to your left. We're just going to take a set of fingerprints. Right hand, please. Now we have to take a swab. Open your mouth, please.
No.
I'll ask you one more time.
I haven't been driving dangerously. You know damn well I haven't. This is because I wouldn't agree to give you a DNA sample, and now you think you can force me. Well, you can't. I want to talk to my lawyer.
After we've done this?
No. I've said I won't give you a sample, and I won't.
Open your mouth, please.
No!
Get hold of him.
No! Get off! You can't do this! No!
Martin, it's me, again. And, okay, maybe you're not answering because I didn't say what you wanted me to say about Southampton, but please, will you just let me know that you're all right? Because I'm really beginning to worry, I really am. So please, please, just send me a text or give me a ring. Anything.
All the time I'm saying I want to ring my lawyer, but they're not taking a blind bit of notice. They put me in a cell. Half an hour later, I get marched back out and told they're going to release me. There won't be any charge, but, can you believe, I should drive more carefully in future. Total farce. They only arrested me so they could take that sample.
I'm sure they did.
Can't we do anything?
We could complain, wrongful arrest, abusive process.
And what would that achieve?
Not a lot.
Would it stop them using the sample?
I very much doubt it.
Great. So we're living in a police state, are we?
To some extent, yes. Maybe, it's up to you, but maybe you should tell me a bit more about what happened in case it turned serious.
What do you want to know?
Oh, the man who was killed, he was what? Friend? Neighbour?
Not a friend. Lived next door but one. I probably said hello to him a time or two.
Then I think you said he had a run-in with Sue.
Well, it's what Sue said. I took her at her word. It's usually wisest.
And then what?
OK. Wakefield, September 1988.
Right.
I got home earlier than usual, and this Sean Sutton, he's coming out of our house. Didn't see me, though. So I parked, went in, didn't say anything. Thought I'd give Sue a chance to explain, but... no. She didn't. So I asked her.
What was that, Sean, is he called? What was he doing here?
Doing where?
In this house. Sue, I saw him come out as I drove up.
Yeah, okay. He just came in. I was in the garden, he was going past, and then he saw me and stopped, and I thought, oh no, because... I didn't tell you, but he can be hard to get rid of, so I came into the house, and then when I turned round, he'd followed me in.
And you hadn't said anything?
What, invited him? No, he just walked in.
So?
I said, what do you want? Will you please get out? And, well, he did eventually, but...
And you hadn't said anything he might have misinterpreted?
No.
But you said he can be hard to get rid of?
Yes.
So it had happened before?
Not... Why are you questioning me?
I'm not. I just want to know.
Him coming into the house, that hadn't happened before, but he had, you know, said things to me when I've been out in the garden.
What sort of things?
He's suggestive things, and don't ask me to repeat them because I prefer not to.
Oh, you poor darling. You know, you should have told me. Oh, come here. Eh? Why didn't you tell me?
Because, well... Anyway, I have now... Hey, please, can you let go of me, please? Thank you.
So, he just walked in, followed you in.
Do we have to keep talking about it?
You can't just expect me to ignore it, not do anything.
Like what? What can you do?
What do you think? I'm going to go and see him.
No, that's a... He'll hit you. That's the kind of man he is. He'll just hit you, and then what will have been achieved?
I don't care.
Oh, please, John, don't.
No, where does he live? Number 22?
Hey, he'll say, if you go, you know what'll happen. He'll say, I invited him in.
But you didn't. Did you?
I might have, without meaning to, I might have given him the wrong signals, I don't know. But I don't see anything's going to be achieved by you provoking him.
What? You think I'm just going to let this man walk into my house and I'm not going to go and do anything about it?
Well, I make sure it doesn't happen again.
No, I'll do that. I'm going to go and do that now.
No, please, John!
I don't mind telling you, I was scared to death. I mean, this guy was pretty big.
You didn't think of calling the police?
I thought of it, but... no. It felt like something I had to do. Prove something, I don't know.
Prove something to Sue?
Yes.
OK.
So, I knock on his front door, hoping he'd be out, but no. There he was, and I'm wondering what the hell I'm going to say.
Now then, just what do you think you're playing at?
You tell me.
Coming into my house like that, just marching in, uninvited.
Is that what I did?
And then, when my wife tells you to go, no, you refuse.
That's what she's told you, is it?
He just makes out it was all Sue's doing, which you can imagine I wasn't too pleased about. And then we went from shouting at one another to throwing punches.
Really? He assaulted you?
Not sure you'd call it that. It was a bit like a schoolyard fight, all over in 2 minutes. Then he goes back in, doors closed. I go home. And that was that, till the following morning.
Now listen.
Oh, there you are. I thought you were just taking the rubbish out.
Something's happened. There are 2 police cars, 2, outside that man Sean Sutton's house, and Mary from next door, she's been talking to the policeman, and they told her he's been murdered.
No.
Apparently his wife called round.
I didn't know he was married.
Separated. She called round this morning and found him lying in the kitchen.
And that was the beginning of the nightmare. The police, well... I wasn't ill-treated, but I was #1 suspect. No doubt about that.
They knew you'd been around the previous evening?
I told them I had. 'Cause you want to help, don't you? Help the police. And I thought, like you do, 24 hours, it'll be solved. All be over. Only it wasn't. Weeks later, still wasn't. I was still being questioned and then let go and then questioned again. In the end, well, they'd no evidence, couldn't prove anything. So that was that. We moved away, and I thought it was over.
I've an appointment at 2, so...
Oh, sorry, I've been going on.
No, look, what I could do, not promising anything, but what if we miss out the middleman, your friend Detective Musker?
Friend?
And try talking to West Yorkshire directly. I mean, I will.
Saying what?
I'll say I'm your lawyer and my client's anxious to have this cleared up. Could they tell us when we might expect a result from the DNA test? At least then we'll know when it's coming.
Alvin McRose Finchley.
Yes, hello. I'd like to speak to Mr. Martin Joyce, please.
Sorry, I'm afraid Mr. Joyce isn't available.
When you say not available, he is there, though, is he?
Sorry, all I know is that he's not taking calls.
Look, please, I'm a close friend, and I'm concerned for him. I've been trying to contact him, only no one seems to know where he is, and I'd just like to know he's all right.
I'm afraid all I can tell you is that Mr. Joyce hasn't been in the office for, well, certainly not this week.
What? He's ill, or...?
Sorry, that really is all I can tell you.
Hello?
John, it's David. I've been talking to West Yorkshire, like we said.
Yeah?
All they'd tell me was the DNA samples have been processed and they'll be contacting you tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Well, thanks for the warning.
I've told the office whatever I'm doing, you're to be put straight through.
There's some coffee left.
You have it, I'm fine.
What? What have you done to Martin?
I beg your pardon?
Martin Joyce, we both know who I'm talking about. Have you done anything?
What sort of anything did you have in mind?
He's disappeared. Nobody seems to know where he is.
Perhaps he doesn't want you to know where he is.
Did you go and see him or ring him or anything? After we had that row when you accused me of seeing him?
No.
I should warn you, I'm thinking of going to the police.
And telling them what? That I've killed him?
Have you?
Oh, I see. It's something I do regularly, is it? Killing your boyfriend.
All I'm saying is I don't know what's happened to him.
Well, neither do I. The difference is, I don't care. Yes, Tanya.
Detective Constable Musker to see you, John.
Send him in.
So how are you?
What you did, that so-called arrest for dangerous driving, was a total abuse of your power. I might still decide to take it further.
You were seen driving in a reckless manner.
So, charge me.
Charges were considered unlikely to be successful and so were dropped.
I'm sure they were.
Anyway, that's not why I'm here.
Of course it's not. No.
I've heard from West Yorkshire. They've had all their DNA samples. They've done all the testing and matching. They won't be bothering you any further. In fact, they've already made an arrest in the case. DNA tests done on one of the other suspects match samples taken from the murder weapon.
I'm in the clear.
Yep.
And that's the end of it.
Should be. Must be a weight off your mind after 20 years.
Can I ask, who is it who's been charged? Do you know?
Well, you didn't hear it from me, but I gather it's the brother-in-law. His wife's brother.
Norman Griffiths.
You know him?
He was one of the people questioned at the time. Apparently, he'd had a go at something before on account of the way he was treating his sister. Then the sister had left him, but Sutton had gone after her. Wouldn't leave her alone.
Well, I gather he's confessed. So, like I say, sounds like this really is the end of it.
There we go.
This is very good of you.
Any excuse for champagne. And actually, this isn't just any excuse, is it? So, here's to you and whoever invented DNA testing.
Cheers.
Cheers. Though I've got to say, for a man who's just had his innocence declared, slate wiped clean and all that, you look remarkably unimpressed. Or maybe you're dancing about inside and just not showing it.
Ah, but what you're forgetting, I always knew I was innocent.
True.
Where you were inclined to think me guilty, yes? Admit it.
I'm a lawyer. I admit nothing.
Even so.
Well, if I did, it was only because you acted like you were. You were so determined not to take that blessed test. Let's be honest, the cops had to trick you into it.
Illegally.
What? You still resent it? You wish they hadn't?
I'm just saying, for the record, what they did was illegal.
Okay, so tell me now, for the record, why?
Why?
Were you so against taking a simple little DNA test when, like you say, all along you knew you were innocent?
I told you. I put the whole business behind me. Didn't want to go back to it.
Even if going back would prove you innocent?
Even if.
Not sure I believe a word, but it's a happy ending, so who cares? Let's have another glass.
Oh, one thing, though.
What?
What I said before about not telling Sue still applies.
No.
I'd be very grateful if you wouldn't ever mention any of this to her.
Because what? You're going to tell her yourself?
I don't want her to know.
You don't want her to know that you have today been declared innocent of this horrendous event that's been hanging over your head, well, and her head, your heads, for 20 years. You don't want her to know that you're off the hook.
That's right, I don't.
When you've told me how she must have felt guilty because she was the one who sent you around. Come on.
Even so.
You've got to tell her.
No. Please, David. You've been wonderful through all this. Stood by me. Listened to me. Just this last thing, please. Do not tell Sue.
Okay. Won't say a word.
Thank you.
Martin?
If you don't want to talk to me, I'll understand.
Where are you? What's happened?
Right now I'm back at the flat. Been in 10 minutes.
Back from where?
Southampton. You remember I told you...
And you're all right?
All right, yes. Well, what about you?
I was just so worried. I thought something must have happened to you.
I know it, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
So it was just... What, you went down to Southampton? You said you were going to tell them no.
I said that, yes, but then they came on to me, wanted me down there now, and no time even to think. Look, can we get together, and I'll tell you all about it.
How was your day?
Unremarkable.
Well, after what I said this morning, I think I should tell you. I've heard from Martin, and he's all right. It's just me being, well, just me.
Good.
So, I'm sorry. I apologise for the way I accused you.
You've good grounds. Better than you knew. Did he tell you, Martin?
Tell me what?
How I went to see him. About a week ago. I went to his flat.
What happened?
Not much. I told him I didn't want him seeing you. And he said he was off to Southampton, so he wouldn't be seeing you anyway.
Which was true, that's where he's been.
So, you see, I didn't kill him.
No.
And, let me guess. Seeing him tonight, are we?
Do you mind?
Will you be coming back afterwards?
Don't I always?
Then why should I mind?
Hello.
How wonderful to see you.
And you.
And I am sorry. I really am. I don't know what you must have thought.
I thought you were dead.
Dead? Oh, good God, no.
Well, I can see that.
Yeah, no, what it was... Well, two things. Now, for some reason, my firm decided I had to go to Southampton immediately, and that was the morning after I last saw you.
I rang them. They said they didn't know where you were.
Well, the people you spoke to, no, they wouldn't. It had all happened so quickly, and no one had got round to telling them.
I thought something terrible.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
And the second reason?
I don't know whether you know this, but your husband turned up at the flat.
He told me, but only tonight, when he knew I was going to see you.
And he got a bit emotional. And, to tell you the truth, I felt sorry for him. But anyway, all that, on top of everything you'd said about how you were never going to leave him, I just thought, what the hell? Let's end this. They wanted me to go to Southampton. Fine, I'd go. And I'd travel light, no baggage, no ties, start again.
Which was why you didn't reply to my messages.
I was trying to go cold turkey. I wasn't allowing myself even a text message. Except I couldn't do it, could I? Which is why I rang, and why I'm here.
And what about Southampton?
Oh, I'm still supposed to be there. They don't even know I've sneaked back up here.
Oh. Sorry. Thought I switched that off. Oh, gosh, it's Mary. Old friend of mine.
I'll answer it.
Well,
I'll read the menu and pretend not to listen.
Mary? Hello?
Hello. Didn't expect you this early. Everything all right?
Not really, no.
What happened?
I got a phone call.
From your friend Martin?
I was with my friend Martin.
Of course. You said you were meeting him.
Do you remember Mary Walsh? Used to live next door to us in Wakefield.
Mary? Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, we've sort of kept in touch anyway. She rang me tonight to tell me all about what's happened. Do you know this? They've arrested somebody for Sean Sutton's murder.
Really?
Apparently it's all over the local press.
Who have they arrested?
I've forgotten his name. The brother-in-law.
Griffiths?
Yes.
Norman Griffiths?
Norman Griffiths. They've arrested him and charged him.
After all this time? How can they charge anybody after all this time?
DNA evidence.
Oh, yes.
According to Mary, apparently they were doing some work on the house, his house, and they found the knife that killed him. Then did the DNA tests and...
Decided it was Norman.
You didn't know?
How would I?
Well, anyway, that's what's happened. So what are we going to do?
I don't see how we can do anything.
We have to. We can't just sit back.
Shouldn't we just be grateful that we aren't involved, that we aren't going to have to go through all that again?
Grateful?
Yes.
Yeah, well, no. No, I don't think we can just be grateful. Not and let an innocent man be found guilty and locked away, maybe for the rest of his life.
Well, that might happen, yes, but might not. We don't know.
All right, let's talk about if he's found guilty and if he's sent to prison. Then what would you do?
Me?
Yes.
I don't see that it's down to me.
It's down to you, because you, and only you, can prove the man is innocent.
Then he'll get off. If he's innocent, there must have been some kind of mix-up, I don't know, and he'll get off.
And what if he doesn't?
Then...
You can't just do nothing, and neither can I. I can't just... John, we can't.
No.
We have to do something.
Well... No, actually, we don't.
Well, yes, I'm sorry, but...
It's all right, don't worry. It's not like you think it is. Never was.
What do you mean?
I'm going to tell you something, which you might find hard to believe, but it is the truth, which I suppose I always knew would come out one day, just thought I could delay it.
The truth about?
Wakefield. About that evening when I arrived home and saw Mr. Sutton slipping out of our front door. Then, when I came in, you didn't mention it.
Because I didn't want anything to happen.
Like him telling me how you'd invited him in.
You want to argue about that now?
No. No, I just want you to remember what happened. How I went round to see him.
I do remember.
See, I thought I had to prove myself. Show I could deal with it. Because you didn't think much of me even then, did you? Even though we'd only been married 18 months, you were beginning to think you'd made a mistake.
When did I ever say...
You didn't have to. You made it pretty clear.
I still don't see that this...
I just want to remind you how things were.
I know how things were.
I went round. Sutton, he came to the door, and I think I was so frightened he'd hit me, I ended up trying to hit him first. So we did have a fight, sort of. He was a lot stronger than me and could probably have killed me if he'd had a mind to, but... Well, he said at one point he felt sorry for me. Maybe he did. Anyway, he just threw me out.
And if you know what's good for you, you'll not try this again, all right?
You're hurting me.
Not compared to what I'll do next time, understand? I said, do you understand?
Yes.
Now, shut up.
But one thing I do know. I didn't kill him. I don't think I even scratched him.
You didn't?
Didn't kill him. Not with a knife. Not with anything, no. And you don't have to take my word. Ask the police. See, I've also been tested. That DNA rigmarole, they put me through it too. Did everything I could to stop them, but I couldn't, and now... As it's turned out, it's cleared my name. So, yes, it's the truth, and I've got the evidence to prove it.
So why...
Did I let you think...
Let me think you killed him, yes.
It wasn't calculated. Or planned. After he'd thrown me out, I just wandered the streets for a while. Getting my breath back as much as anything. And I felt... humiliated. He knew I couldn't do anything to him, and I also knew you'd probably been leading him on, flirting with him, because I'd seen you with other men.
Oh, please!
Yes, you were never short of admirers even then. Anyway, all I'm saying, I just felt like my life was out of control. I even thought of not going home at all. Just disappearing.
But you didn't.
No. Wasn't really up to that kind of big gesture, was I? No, I walked round for a while, then nowhere else to go. So I came home. Remember?
John?
Yeah.
What happened? Oh, look at the stick!
Okay.
Oh, you've had a fight with him.
It's all right.
How can it be? Look at you.
We had a bit of a... Well, I'm not sure you'd call it
And
a
it's
fight.
all my fault. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. Don't be ridiculous. It's his fault.
So, you're going to tell me what happened?
I am telling you, I went round.
Yes.
I asked him what he thought he was doing. Way he'd been behaving towards you.
And what did he say?
Oh, nothing worth paying attention to. He was just, abusive. And then there was, a bit of pushing and shoving, and... Well, I think I made the point. In future, he goes nowhere near you. Nowhere near this house.
And do you think he'll do that?
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, anyway... Thank you. No. Thank you. You did it for me, I know.
Suppose I just hoped the whole thing would go away, and then... Well, I might have gained some credit. Gone up in your estimation. But that was all. Because I didn't know what was going to happen, did I? I couldn't have known. So when you came running in next morning...
Now listen.
Oh, there you are. I thought you were just taking the rubbish out.
Something's happened. There are 2 police cars, 2, outside that man Sean Sutton's house, and Mary from next door, she's been talking to the policeman. They told her he's been murdered.
No.
Apparently his wife called round.
I didn't know he was married.
Separated. She called round this morning and found him lying in the kitchen.
Ooh. Who are they saying did it?
I don't think they know. Did anyone see you when you went round last night?
I don't know.
But they might have done.
Yeah, but might. Yes, it was still daylight.
So, we mustn't deny it.
Deny?
If we deny it and then someone saw you...
Right.
Better, safer. It's safer if we say yes, you went round but nothing happened.
And why did I go round?
Because, I don't know.
Have you told anyone else about him? The way he was behaving towards you?
I told Mary.
Then we have to tell the truth. Or anyway, a version. He was making a nuisance of himself and I went round to speak to him.
What happened?
We had a chat and he apologised.
Would he?
Probably not. All right. He said it had been a misunderstanding and we left it at that.
Yes.
And what will you say? Because they're going to question you as well as me.
I'll just agree with everything you said and tell them how worried I was when you went round, but then how relieved it had gone well and there hadn't been any trouble.
Good.
Those clothes you were wearing, where are they?
Upstairs.
You let me wash the clothes you've been wearing. You let me lie to the police about how there hadn't been a fight.
Because I was scared. They suspected me. They thought what you were thinking. That I'd gone round, there'd been a fight, and I'd killed him.
But you hadn't.
No.
So why? All right, not straight away, but afterwards, when it had all gone away and we'd moved house and put it behind us... Why not tell me then?
I was going to. Had every intention.
But?
By then I realised what a difference you believe in what you believe, what a difference it made.
Difference to...
To us! The way we were together. Like we had this secret that united us. Almost as good as having a child. Oh, I didn't think it'd last forever. I thought sooner or later they'll charge somebody and then you'd know the truth. But of course they never did. Till now. And even now I was hoping you wouldn't find out. That we could somehow manage to carry on with the secret still there, keeping us together.
You've let me believe you were a murderer.
Because then you wouldn't leave me. Oh, so when they came along with their damned DNA test, last thing I wanted... And of course they thought it was because it was going to show my guilt. It's the opposite. I was terrified it would show I was innocent. And you'd know I wasn't a murderer. And so you don't have to stay.
You've kept me imprisoned all these years.
It is not a prison.
For me it is. You knew I blamed myself. You knew that, and you used it.
Well, if I did, it was for a good reason. To keep us together. Because I wanted you to stay and not leave me. Is that so terrible?
What's terrible is what you did, not why.
I had to. I can't live without you.
Letting me believe you killed a man for my sake.
I'm sorry.
Something I've lived with for 20 years.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry because I found out.
Oh, forgive me.
I can't.
Yes. Oh, Sue, please. You have to. Otherwise...
Otherwise, we finished. Yeah? I'd say that about sums it up.
No. Oh, Sue, please. I love you. Always have. Even when I realised you didn't really love me, did you? You only married me because... Well, I don't know.
And neither do I.
And I knew you were having second thoughts. I knew that, and I had to stop you leaving. Doesn't matter what I have to put up with. Doesn't matter you don't love me. I don't have any choice.
Then I'm sorry for you.
Then stay with me. Stay with me out of pity. I don't mind. Stay with me for any reason you like. I can't live without you.
Well, you're going to have to.
No.
You're not keeping me a minute longer.
Please.
I'm leaving. Now, this minute, I'm leaving.
Oh, please.
I'll be in touch, and we could sort everything, but right this minute, I'm leaving.
No.
Oh, yes.
I won't let you.
Get out of my way, please.
No. You're not leaving me. Not ever. No.
Let me go.
You're not going. Not if I have to. It's locked. The back door's locked.
Let me pass, please.
No, you're not going to pass. I'm not letting you go. Don't you understand? I can't live without you.
John, please. You go to bed.
No. I'll keep you company.
I don't think I'll ever sleep again. I thought he was going to kill me. When he picked up the knife, my first thought was, he's going to kill me.
I know.
And then he just brought the knife up and, with a single movement, cut his own throat.
God.
There was blood all over. And then he fell, almost on top of me. I couldn't get out of the way.
You must try not to think about it. You're all right. It's over.
No.
It's over.
Never will be. For the rest of my life, I'll be that woman whose husband killed himself because she was going to leave him.
No.
Which is exactly what he wanted, isn't it? That I'd be his. Well, now I always will be.
In The Test, John was David Bamber, Sue, Denise Black, Martin, David Fleeshman, David, Seamus O'Neill, and D.I. Musker, Craig Cheetham. The Test was written by Peter Whalley and directed in Manchester by Pauline Harris.